G'day folks, my name's Bill Gray and welcome to the second and final part of our two-part series on the shipwreck coast on Victoria's Great Ocean Road. Now, we're here today in the small coastal town of Port Campbell, which is about a 3-hour drive west of Melbourne. And today we're going to head out the channel here at Port Campbell, turn left and head down to Victoria's worst shipwreck disaster, the Lockhart, where all but 2 of the 54 on board her sadly drowned. We're also going to be covering Deany Steps, the Penguin Cave, the Blowhole, Lockhart Gorge, Thunder Cave, the 12 Apostles and our furthest wreck site from Port Campbell here, the Fiji. And then we'll travel a little further east to our furthest point, to the Seal Cave. Well, we have quite a bit to get through, so we better get a move on. Now, about 5 kilometres east of Port Campbell, and that huge slit in the cliff there behind me is Deany Steps. Now, those steps were cut by hand by fishermen so they can fish this area a little more easily, but they're also used by surfers as well to surf the breaking there up against the cliff. Now, you can see that the steps come out of the cliff about a third of the way up from the bottom, and what happened there was that the men digging the steps got a little wrong and they didn't quite make it out to the bottom. So what they did was to tunnel through the cliffs to the left and come out just above a small landslide so they could put a ladder down and then climb down to the rocks on the bottom. But about 30 years ago, there were some men out surfing and some others down drop netting for crayfish on the rocks there, when a huge section of the cliff collapsed at about 200 metres in length, trapping the surfers out in the water and the fishermen up on the rocks there. So the surfers had to find another way back up the cliff and the fishermen had to walk back to Port Campbell on the rocks. And a few years after that, they classed the steps as unsafe and they blew them up using dynamite from the top so they could never be used again.